The purpose of Wealth Talk is to educate, inform, and hopefully entertain you on the subject of building your wealth. WealthBuilders recommends you should always take independent financial, tax, or legal advice before making any decisions around your finances.
Welcome to episode 130 of Wealth Talk. My name's Christian Rodwell, the Membership Director for WealthBuilders, and I'm joined today by our founder, Mr. Kevin Whelan. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Chris. Good to be with you again, as always.
Yeah, and you're fresh off the golf course this morning, I hear.
Yes, I had it was a beautiful day, and it was like millionaires golf. Me and a buddy just decided to go and hit some balls. We played on a lovely golf course. We enjoyed the greenery, the scenery. It was better than walking the dog, Chris, although sometimes walking your golf clubs can be a little bit longer. Anyway, had a good game, really enjoyed myself, and very opposite, isn't it? Because we're talking to somebody about the combination of combining golf with business in a guilt-free way, and I'm sure you'll hear that in the words of our guest today.
Absolutely. So our guest today is Sean Fergusson. He's the co-founder of For Business Network, and Sean's a great guy, and I really enjoyed the interview with Sean. He was actually out in America, and we're going to hear from him really soon. But he's really kind of brought a new way to networking, and I think the timing's just really perfect for this conversation because we were actually with 300 property investors just earlier this week, Kevin, which was at the Equa Academy Brooklands Grand Prix event with Mark Stokes and Nigel Green and all of the Equa team. And we saw so many of our members. I think there's about 30 WealthBuilders Academy members that came along to say hello. And just so great to be face-to-face again with everyone.
Not just again, I mean, for some people, I'd never met them before. I'd only ever seen them from the neck up. And so it was just great to see people in the flesh and to shake hands with people and so on, and a little cuddle from those who we built a particularly fond relationship with, strangely over Zoom, and that was fantastic, and really enjoyed that. So, yeah, I mean, there was networking on a really big scale for the first time in I can't remember how long, but what Sean's got to share, and Sean is just you'll hear him. He's a very passionate guy, and he says on his LinkedIn profile, he's an addicted introducer. What he means by that, he's just so passionate about finding value for others. He's a selfless, caring kind of a guy, and he brings some great wealth parallels, as all of our guests do, and we'll have a chance to debrief them a little bit later on, Chris.
We will indeed. Okay, so let's tee off and head on to our conversation with Sean Fergusson. Sean, welcome to Wealth Talk today.
Thanks, Chris.
And we're beaming across the Atlantic because you're in America. And in fact, you were on one of the first planes from the UK to America this week, I believe.
Yeah, all a bit crazy. Aaron and I decided that I needed to get out here now and start, creating what we'd started in 2019. And with COVID and everything else, we haven't been able to get over here really. So I was the first Virgin flight at 8:30 out of T3 Heathrow on Monday morning. And in fact, it was a dual flight takeoff with BA on the other side of the runway as well. So a helicopter was in the sky and they were filming us as we were leaving Heathrow. I had no idea that was happening. And there was quite a party and quite a celebration really. And it was almost quite emotional that we were able to go back over to America and start trading and seeing our friends again,
Yeah, no, leading the high life, Sean, and I'm looking forward to hearing about how you've grown your business with Aaron in today's conversation. And of course, you are the co-founder of For Business, and For Business is the world's largest golf networking community. And I believe you've got over 100 groups and over 1,000 members across the world. So it'd be really, really good to know, how did it all begin, Sean?
Okay, so I've always enjoyed networking. From a very young age, I've always enjoyed meeting people, understanding what they did in life, the challenges that they had, and I guess when I was really young, I didn't realize where my journey was going to take me. But I just always enjoyed. I always remember people's names, which always freaks them out. I've always done that from a very young age, and I think you get to remember people's names when you really listen intensely into what they do and the information they share with you. And then when you see them a year later and you pick up back on that conversation with them, it shows you really care, and it shows that you really listen to them. And I think that's really important in life. And I've always done that. And fortunately, Aaron and I, we met at various networking events actually in Hampshire, in North Hampshire. And our paths kept crossing. And one particular day, Aaron invited me to have a round of golf with him. We were just talking about our interests, because he's a prolific networker as well. And we had a round of golf. And I was playing back then. I was once in the spring, once in the autumn. I was getting my money's worth out of the fairways, zigzagging down the fairways. Aaron, I think, played 12 times a year. And we got to about the back 9 of the golf course and realized the amount of business that we'd generated between each other, and the connections and the introductions that we'd made. And we just thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we could put a networking environment onto the golf course, but make it formal at the beginning and fun during? And that's what we did. So we launched our first group in March 2013 in Basingstoke, and never looked back since, really. And it was always our intention to grow more groups across the world, because all countries have golf courses, some more than others. To give you an idea, there's 18,500 golf courses in America. There's 2,500 golf courses in the UK. So we knew that if we could get our foundations right in the UK and build a trusted network that was generating amazing referrals, so a really good referral machine, and encouraging members to use all the benefits they got of their membership to play guilt-free golf, really, we knew that the Americans would love it. And that's why I'm out here now. And I've committed to this. My family are right behind me. I've got an amazing wife and 3 daughters, and they've supported the whole mindset and said, go and do it, go and do what we've got to do. So I'm out here probably 2 weeks a month now to continue the journey that we've done in the UK, but do some great things. And we're creating opportunities now for our members back in the UK from our friends and members that we're now having to join us in America. It's great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And just so people really understand the 4 business model then, Sean. So obviously you're playing lots of golf, but when you're not playing golf, kind of how, what does the business look like?
So when I'm not playing golf, I'm just constantly making introductions. I have got the dream job. There's no 2 ways about it. Yes, I get to play golf. I'm not playing as much golf as I used to, although that's a lie, because I'm playing loads out here, because I'm doing lots of networking, meeting some great people and building partnerships now and friendships. But, in 2014 to 2018, Aaron and I would play 3 times, 4 times a week. It would be very rare for us not to be in the car at 3 o'clock in the morning, to be driving anywhere to Plymouth, to Manchester, Liverpool, or fly to Scotland to host events that start at 7 o'clock in the morning, where we meet for an hour, where we just, share challenges, business opportunities, introductions that maybe we're all looking for, and then seeing those synergy partners in the room, and then adapting the 4 balls around that to make sure that you haven't got 4 accountants or 4 printers going out together, but you've maybe got a developer, an investment bank, an architect, and maybe a lawyer going out together. And that's basically now what we've delivered now across the UK. You mentioned we've got over 1,000 members. We've actually got 1,600 members now. We're very proud. We've probably seen in excess of about £50 million worth of business generated over the 8 years on the golf course. It's just what we've seen, and especially with the challenges that all businesses have, or most businesses over the last 19 months, the friendship that has now been built. I'm seeing members who have met virtually on some of the Zoom calls that we've hosted between Scotland and Devon, London, and they're now meeting up on the golf course. So as much as COVID has been an absolute disaster, and I won't lie, at times we were really, really concerned about where was this going to ever stop. We're a recurring revenue business. We're a membership business, very similar to a gym membership business. So when golf courses closed, members were looking at us saying, well, what's going on, guys? So within 72 hours, we delivered a virtual networking program, which consisted of a one-to-one platform for members just to jump on Zoom calls, local virtual meetings, national and international meetings. So we've had Americans, Spanish, Irish members, UK members all coming together. And it's just been fascinating. And because of that, and the friendship they've built, they're now arranging to go and join each other's four balls around the world. It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel very privileged, actually, Chris. I really do.
Yeah, I like the way that you're curating as well the groups you mentioned there, making sure you've got the right mix of people, because I think not a lot of people, but some people kind of scared off by the networking idea. And again, we know that comes down to personalities. And networking traditionally, probably, a thought that comes into mind is just a whole bunch of people in a room, with their cups of tea, kind of glancing around, and it's who makes the first move, right? And it's a bit of small talk. And for some people, that's just not effective. It's not really networking with a purpose. So, what you've brought here is something really different. It's a new way to network, it's networking with a difference. But perhaps we can, maybe look at why you think the networking that happens on the golf course is different. What is it about the relationships to the standard way of networking?
Chris, that's such a great idea. Such a great point, actually, you make there. So, and I was only talking to three of the guys I played golf with yesterday at Orange County National Golf Club. Amazing course and lovely people. And we were just talking about the trust that you build when you're playing golf, because you can easily cheat in golf. Easily. You can, by chance, find your ball on the fairway that went into the water. You can say that you shot 4 points when actually you shot 7. You can cheat a lot. I don't, and I hope that none of our members do. But people have been known to cheat in golf. So I look at that and say, okay, so there's a couple of things really that you can learn from somebody very quickly when you play golf. How polite are they on the golf course? Do they stand where they need to stand when you're going to play your shot? Do they let you talk a little bit, or do they do all the talking? Do they help you find your ball when you lose your ball in the woods or in the grass, in the thick grass where you're trying to find it and you're onto a really good score, but they just carry on walking down the fairway? Do they, and do they cheat? And, if you then look at that in business, well, if they cheat, then they're probably going to cheat you out of money. If they're not going to come and help you find your ball or be courteous towards you on the golf course, then they're probably very selfish individuals. So you can learn so much. And actually, I would urge anyone in business that doesn't play golf, and this isn't me trying to get them to join for business, learn to play golf. You can find out so much about someone when you play golf with them. How do they dress? How do they, how organized are they when they arrive? Are they relaxed? Are they having to take a phone call 20 times as they're walking down the fairway? Or have they got a business that actually has that all sorted out and mapped out for them? Or at least if they're a one-man band, they don't need to be answering the phones because they've got an outbound call center answering their calls and making their business look even more organized. So these are so many different things. But, the thing that's so integral about For Business is we're a community. We're not a membership anymore. We were a membership years ago. We're a community now. Everyone is looking after everyone. Okay. And, when somebody needs something, whatever it is, they'll put it out on the app or they'll put it out on the Facebook pages. And, people just come running to help because they feel not obliged, but they just want to help, because they're that way inclined. And I think that's just the great thing that we've got going on. And, there are still thousands of people in the UK that need to find out about For Business. And, you talk about networking. I'll go out of my way to go in. When I go into a networking room, I will go out of my way to go and talk to the person who's looking at his phone or taking a lot longer than normal at maybe our event booklet or something like that they're reading. And I do that because I know what that person is like. They're quite shy individuals. They're quite uncomfortable. and they don't really feel at home in a networking environment. So I will have a beeline towards them. I will make them feel comfortable. I will get them talking about their business. I will get them telling me how proud they are about these wonderful things they've done for their customers in the last week, month, 6 months, 12 months. And I will then go out of my way to find out what they do. And then I will do another beeline to another member to make that all important and sometimes life-changing introduction. And that's what I do. But I don't just do that, Chris, at our events. I do that wherever I go because that's just me.
I'd love to pull out a few more tips from your experience in networking, Sean. And, from networking events that, I've been to over the years that are still quite popular formats within networking, is the 1 minute pitch. So, standing up and just being able to really clearly communicate what you do. Any tips? And is that something that you do within the For Business network?
Yeah, definitely. So the best thing you can ever do is go into a room of strangers and say, hi, I'm Johnny Briggs. My business is X. I'm really here. I'm very lucky. I know quite a few people in business. I'm just here to meet you all today, understand what you do in business. And then when I really understand what you do in business, I'm going to be able to leave this room today and I'm going to be able to make some really good, important introductions to you. And all I ask is maybe once we've had time to maybe have a one-to-one after today's meeting, you understand what I do. And then you can also keep an ear out for things that I'm looking for introductions as well. Now, that just paints the right picture straight away. This is an unselfish person in a room with a load of strangers. He wants to understand what they do in business first before he starts spraying his cards everywhere, telling everybody how amazing he is. He gives us the best service and he'll beat every price under the planet. And just come and use me. And I think, if you go in with the right mindset into a networking environment, you'll get a lot more attention and you'll also get a lot more business opportunities. I don't anymore. I used to go into a room and purposely not tell anybody what I did. And it used to drive them mad because I was just interested in what they did in business. And I would ask them and I'd say, okay, hang on. Sometimes, Chris, when I'm playing golf with somebody and they tell me what they do and I don't understand it, I have to understand what they do. And I will not come off that golf course with them until I really understand what they do, because otherwise, what's the point in saying to somebody, so what do you do in business? And they go, oh yeah, I do. I build widgets for, Johnny Briggs. I keep using the name Johnny Briggs. And I go, okay, cool. And then, but I've learned nothing from that other than he just builds widgets. I want to know, who are your customers? What are your challenges? Who are your suppliers? Is there any supplier you're not happy with at the moment? That's a great question to ask. Here's a few networking tips I'm going to share with you, or ideas. And this surprises me sometimes, the reaction I get from a lot of business owners, this particular tip. Okay, so you've got your 10 best clients, okay? You service them, you give them a great service, great product, whatever it is you do, they love you because you love them, because they are your top 10 clients, right? I'd like to think you know every little detail about their business. And if you're really smart, you're going to know their challenges as well. For two reasons. Number one, if you know them that well, they're going to tell you that they've just been let down by their insurance broker or their security firm or their logistical firm, or they're having a nightmare getting stuff out of China into the UK, or whatever it is they've got. Find out what the challenges are in your customer's business and have the confidence and the network around you to then say to your customer, wow, okay, that's a challenge you've got there. But I think I've got someone who I can introduce you to that might be able to make that work for you. Would it be too presumptuous of me to make an introduction from my network to you guys? Now, number one, your customer's going to think you're the best thing since sliced bread, because they stay awake at night worrying about that challenge and that problem they've got. But take it to another stage. Look at your top 10 customers and look at their customers and look at who they're trying to target, and now dive into your network and find some of your network that could be buying from some of your customers. And if you haven't got any customers that could be buying from your customers, go and find some customers for your customer. Go onto LinkedIn, go onto Facebook, go go and do some research for your customer to find them customers, and then phone up your customer and say, hey, Chris, we haven't spoken for a couple of weeks. Deep down, I'm thinking I really need to get that contract over the line. But Chris, listen, the reason why I'm calling you today is I just wanted to share something with you. Are you familiar with such and such company down the road? You're not? Okay, look, they're in my network and I know what you guys do. These guys should surely be buying from you. Can I make an introduction? Because I know you play golf. I know they play golf. Let's have a 3-ball. Let's put something together here. I reckon they're going to be up for this. What is your customer going to say, Chris?
Yeah, they'd be blown away.
Blown away. So now they're blown away. Now they put the phone down. They're probably going to be blown away and tell everyone in the business how amazing you are. And guess what? This is what's even better. When your competition are phoning them up to say, hey, listen, we're the best. We're better than Chris's business. We're going to give better prices, better service. Come and have a look at our offices. We've got the best offices in town. You're going to say, that's all great, but you know what? Price isn't everything. Are you going to help us with our bottom line? Are you going to give us sales opportunities? Because that's what Chris does. And I think the phone's just going to get put down, isn't it? I mean, good luck with that, Mr. Salesperson.
Yeah. Some next level networking tips there. So
different level. It's a different level. And it's so easy to do. And you know what? If nothing else, Chris, you've got to have a trusted network around you, because it can go horribly wrong if you introduce somebody and they let the person down. So you've got to make sure you've really got that. And again, you get that from 4 hours on spending that time on the golf course with somebody that you might want to refer in. And I certainly don't go out of my way very quickly. If somebody knocks on my door and says, Sean, please, can you introduce me to that company over there? Well, I can do, but it takes time. And you've got to give me the confidence here that you can deliver, because, you know, this is our trusted network as well, you know?
Yeah.
But it's, if what I was going to say there is, even if there isn't a new business opportunity for your customer right now, at least it shows you're looking out for them. And that's better than a bottle of wine. And that's better than a thank you card. But let me just tell you about the thank you card and the bottle of wine. Mm-hmm. 90% of people do not say thank you properly for new business or an introduction. And 99% of people do not say thank you or send a bottle of wine for an introduction that doesn't turn into a business. So that is just what an opportunity there for people to stand out from the crowd and send a handwritten thank you card and a bottle of wine that you know that person likes, or take them out for dinner and their wife, or take them and their children to go and watch the mighty Chelsea or whoever it might be. My point is, care about your customers, but just take it to another level with the network that you grow, you know? Yeah. It's key.
Yeah. So I'm keen to know how you've grown the business as well, Sean. Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure it goes as no surprise that it's mostly down to referrals, right, after what we've just been talking about. So I'm sure your members are just naturally talking to friends and connections of their own, and that's how it's grown. But, you know, what's the typical customer, client of For Business? You know, what do they look like? You know, how can you describe them?
Okay, so 98% of business owners, I would say they a massive range of turnover. We've got companies that turn over £100,000 a year, one-man bands, very proud of what they do, brilliant, absolute respect to them. And we've got multi-international companies as well, turning over billions, Chris. And
they all come together, right, on the course, and that's the wonderful thing.
This is it, you know. I mean, I'm not going to share names, but Aaron and I are very fortunate to know somebody who built a business from 0 to 300 million and went out to do exactly that and sold it 2 years ago for a huge amount of money. One of the nicest guys you could ever wish to meet. I played golf with him. Aaron and I played golf with him at Lot Lomond. He invited us to play at Lot Lomond. Anybody that knows golf courses, Lot Lomond is one of the courses in the United Kingdom to play, if not the world. But before I did that, I was playing golf in St Andrews, at Fairmont St Andrews, which is a group that we used to host. And I was playing golf with one of our members. And I talked about this particular friend of mine who was in the renewable energy industry. And he said, oh my God, he's my hero. He's my absolute hero, Sean. I'd love an introduction. And I said, well, listen, Aaron and I are coming up to Scotland in a couple of months' time, and we're playing with this person and his business partner. chatting about stuff. We're playing Glen Eagles, but you come and join us at Glen Eagles, and then we're playing with them at Lot Lomond. And he said, if you can do that, that'd be amazing. Well, within 24 hours, it was arranged. 2 days later, 3 days later, the flights were booked. And I was walking down the fairways at Glen Eagles with one of our 4 business members, Aaron and I, and our friends. And they were just chewing the fat about the renewable energy business, having fun and making massive inroads into what they were all out to do in their business lives. And that's what it's all about, you know? And it's just so much fun.
Very much makes me think of the ripple effect, right? Just that little drop of just coming from a good place and just letting it expand, and who knows where that might lead. But if you just keep doing that and consciously do that, surely good things are going to happen.
I think you've got to naturally do it as well, though, Chris. You know, I think if you're doing it because you're trying to, your strategy is that, and you just know that it's working, then I think I don't know. Is it underhand? Maybe not. But you've got to enjoy making introductions. You've got to, not because you get any kickback. I've never had a kickback in my life, may I add. I've never asked for one. I'd never want one. But it's when you make an introduction and you can just see what effect that's had. It's the best. That's the payback for me. That's like the drug for me that makes me do what that's what gets me out of bed every day. I've got this mood map storyboard in my house. And I've got certain things on there that remind me in morning, at night, what I need to do before I go to bed and what I have to do when I get up in the morning. One of the things I really love to do at night, so I'm going a bit off the fairway here with you. One of the things I really like to do at nighttime is drop somebody an email really late, because I know they're not going to read it at night, but then they read it in the morning. And it's a really nice email to thank them for just being amazing because of something that they've done. And I can't tell you what kind of a day that person then has. You know, getting a nice email at 7:30 in the morning to start my day is like, wow, you know?
Nice.
And it takes 5 minutes, doesn't it, to do things like that? But social media actually has played a really big part in our journey, Chris. And I know a lot of businesses struggle with this. They struggle because of time. But they maybe also struggle because they can't afford to take on somebody to, you know, be their community manager, if you like, under social media. And we've managed to manage it ourselves, I think, quite well. To give you an idea, we've probably got something in the region of about 100 unique posts every day going out on our LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram and everything else. Some of that's from us. Mostly is our members sharing amazing stories about what's working for them, sharing the golden ticket they've got. So as a For Business member, you get to invite anybody you know who's a business owner and wishes to play more golf, and quite frankly, play guilt-free golf. They can have a golden ticket, which allows them to have a whole month free of charge, which includes their networking and their round of golf at the networking event. Plus, in the month, Monday to Friday, they can book a 4-ball, and we cover theirs and their guest screen fees, access to our app, access to our social media, and access to all our virtual meetings that we host. And they can have that golden ticket completely free of charge. So members are actively promoting that. Why are they doing that? Because they want to help their business community. What a lovely post to put if I'm based in Croydon or Chester or wherever it might be. And I am the go-to guy in business that wants to create opportunities for my network and the people out there that I've met. Well, if anybody's out there that can handle more business, we're looking right now for this particular profession to join our group, and I've got a free golden ticket. Who wants to come along? So that's working really well as well through the social media and the app and everything else. So it's really powerful stuff. I mean, you know, we've integrated and built some amazing automation within the business. To give you an idea, there's only 5 of us in the business full time in the UK, and then we've got two in America. And it's really, really good. We've saved a lot of money and headcount because of the automation. But the team that we've got are just brilliant. You know, they know what they've got to do, and they care about what they do as well. And without them, I wouldn't be out here, would I? I mean, you know, I'd be having to keep an eye on what's going on. And Aaron couldn't be in Spain looking after Spanish members and guests over there as well. So a little bit like your business. You've got a great foundation there and a great team of people. We're always working towards that. And what I haven't told you is I was in retail for 9 years before, from the age of 16. And for me, it was all about customer service, looking people in the whites of their eyes and giving them great customer service. And that's the belief that we've got in our team. Although we're behind email a lot of the time and behind a call and behind social media, you smile down the phone, you smile when you do a post, it comes across.
Yeah. Sean, it's been fantastic listening to everything that you've achieved and so much more to come still. If our listeners would like to check out For Business, where's the best place for them to head to?
So, if you're in the UK, it's www.for, which is FORE-business.com. And if you're joining us from America, which I hope some of our American friends will listen to this podcast, just /USA at the end of that URL.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Sean. Enjoy your time out there in the States. I look forward to hitting a few balls with you soon.
Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Thanks so much for having me on.
Okay, so interesting points from Sean there. You can just hear that blaze energy just exuding from every pore of him. He just loves connecting. And we love connecting as well with our members. And we've had more clients leaving us some reviews this week on Trustpilot. So let's quickly read out one of our reviews. And this one's from Ian. So thank you, Ian. You've said that quite simply, if you're looking to explore the world of SaaS by moving it from a corporate pension scheme or a SIP, you cannot do it without the invaluable advice of the team at WealthBuilders. And the team, with their comprehensive online training modules, gave me the tools I needed to know and make informed decisions around the complexities of a SaaS. And I do not believe you can go down the SaaS route without having this team there to help you in the process. And I would have no hesitation in recommending them to anyone who is looking to explore the SaaS setup and having them there to provide sound knowledge and comfort along the way.
There you go. Well, thanks to Ian. I mean, look, we know SaaS comes up a lot, doesn't it, on the podcast? And, we often refer to it as a high performance vehicle. And it's the best kept secret in wealth. And one of the things I like about Sean is when he met me, we talked about SaaS, and I'm hopefully going to be helping him gain a little more insights into SaaS as well. But he was so keen to share this and wants to share it with his 4 business members. And I can't think of anything better, really, to help business owners who are normally his members, people who have businesses in the main. And I think with many business owners, when they're troubled, Chris, as they often are for time, time poor, often getting a game of golf is a tough gig. But hasn't he done a masterful job of this, as I said earlier on, this guilt-free golf where you can start off at 7 a.m. I've been there myself, actually, so I did participate in For Business and, had a breakfast. Everybody's a chance to mingle, and then you get your 1-minute pitch, and he did some great tips on how you can do that. And then you get to play golf with different people. And as Sean said, I played with Sean for the first time, and he's quite right. I mean, he just asked some really great and inquiring questions about WealthBuilders and just did a great job of making me feel enormously welcome. And I would definitely encourage anybody who likes golf and who likes to network to combine the two and check out For Business, FORE. Well, you know where that's come from. Obviously, if you're a golfer, I mean, you're just taking up the game, Chris. So
I am. I'm indeed. Yeah. Well, I have to give you a thanks as well, Kevin, because I got a little treat as we were leaving the event on Tuesday, where you gifted me a pair of or a set of clubs, I should say, ones that I've been learning on over the last 12 months. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I hope there was more than 2.
Yeah. So I think let's have a think about some of the lessons then that came out of that conversation. And it's actually interesting because last week we had Martin Rapley on the podcast. Martin was talking all about managing risk. And I asked Martin about his wealth dynamics profile. And for anyone who's a regular listener or one of our members, you'll know all about the wealth dynamics assessment. It really helps you tune in on your path for building wealth, your entrepreneurial compass. And Martin was very much on the steely side, all about processes. And Sean couldn't be any further the opposite. all about the people, right? All about the connections.
That's right. If Martin said, I'm zero Blaze, Blaze being the energy of being connected, you'd have to say Sean is probably as far on the fiery side of Blaze as you can imagine. But that's great. And I think that's why he's a perfect fit for his business. And you can tell he's not bored by it. He's not in any way anything other than hugely enthusiastic for it. And what I think, I found most interesting about the Wealth Builder lessons, which came from Sean, was, we know that wealth building is about connections, but we know also that wealth flows to value. And the way he likes to show that value is to be a great referrer. And I think that's fascinating at two levels. Number one, it makes you think continually, as he obviously does, about what can you do to help somebody else. And that's just coming from a place of being selfless rather than selfish. And the other thing I think it does is for those people who perhaps don't like networking, networking is anathema to them. They feel uncomfortable. And usually they feel uncomfortable because I think you asked him the question, Chris, didn't you, about, if you're in a room and you're kind of nervously eyeing people around, you're not quite sure who should start. But if you know you're going to a networking meeting with the deliberative intention of just to build your little black book and then to connect somebody with somebody else so that you go and talk to people with a view of finding out who do they need to connect. Because when Sean asks a question about a challenge, the challenge is always going to get, I don't know how to, who does this? And he knows that the answer to the how question, just as we do, Chris, is always a who. And he makes it his life's work to build as many who's in his medium-sized black book, or a big black book, as we call it, and try and make those connections. And that shifts the emphasis from trying to pitch about what you do to really be interested in what other people do. And I think that's a fascinating shift of emphasis in networking and in value creation.
Indeed. And I thought it was really interesting when he was talking about how you can really learn about someone when you're on the course, right? And the parallels there with how they act in business. Are they kind of trying to do a little sneaky one when you're not looking? I think that's some valid points there.
I think, look, if you're a regular golfer, there's etiquette, and one of the things about golf is it's deemed to be one of those gentlemanly or gentle lady sports where integrity is the very watchword of the game, because, you're calling yourself all the time. It's you who calls the shots and you who calls things, and you've got to play the game by playing the course as it is and playing the ball as it lies. So you can't move the ball, you can't improve anything. And I think he knows that some people aren't that way. And if he spots that, I think it's an indication of maybe integrity somewhere along the line. But also it's about being polite, and it's also about trying to help each other. And when you're spending 3 or 4 hours with different people, you get a chance to connect, between shots and along the walk. It's a very pleasant thing to talk to 3 or 4 people, because it's always in groups of 4. So you've really got a chance to build quite deep connections. Normally if you're networking, how long do you spend with someone when you're networking? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? It's a much longer time. So it gives you a chance to really listen and to focus on creating that value. So yeah, his golf parallels with business, very, very interesting. And I love the way he's now seeing this as a community. And just as we're building a community in, the whole community of wealth builders, and then the family community that we're hoping to build as more and more families share the wisdom of what they're doing with their kids. And by the way, I want to reach out to our listeners, Chris, that if you have got something interesting you want to share about how you help your children, whatever age they are, whether they're 8, whether they're 18, whatever, what you're doing to help bring money into the conversation, to teach good lessons, to engage them in something interesting, play something, and to try and bring that whole idea of money as something to be enjoyed, not something to be taboo. So if you've got an idea, we're compiling a whole list. I think we've got about a dozen or so videos now from clients who are doing some really, really interesting things, some fascinating things that I see people doing with their children of all ages. So if you're either interested in sharing a story or you want to get involved in getting this message out, so I'm giving you the opportunity, if you want to be a great referrer, to share this message of Wealth Builders, then get in touch. Send a message. Where do they send a message to, Chris?
Well, in fact, we've just created a page now where anyone who's interested in the Wealth Builders for Families program, whether it's just to be kept up to date or you feel you've got something to contribute, just head to wealthbuilders.co.uk/families, FAMILIES. And you can just drop us your name and email address and get in touch.
And let's not forget, this is a Wealth Talk podcast, and this is a business. I mean, Sean, although you didn't hear from Aaron is equally a lovely guy and so committed, actually slightly better golfer than Sean is. I have to say, having played with him, but better than me as well. But the whole point about it is they've got a business. It's a membership business. And the business obviously had to pivot somewhat, didn't it, in COVID? Because, look, I remember golf courses were shut. So if you can't play golf, how the hell do you support your members? So you have to do something, think quickly, organize things very quickly. So very much a business around a community and about driving value between the members. So do check them out. I mean, if you're interested in that or you're interested in playing golf with us, Chris, that's another thing we would love to do, so the Wealth Builder members can play golf with each other. Please get in touch with us and let us know, and we'll do something in 2022, and hopefully by that time, Chris should be a little better than you are now.
Let's hope so. Yeah, drop us an email, hello@wealthbuilders.co.uk, if you'd be interested in a Wealth Builders Golf Day, and we'll try and bring the FOR community and the Wealth Builders community together to make that happen.
Yeah, fantastic. That was a good podcast.
Good. All right. Well, let's continue the connections. We hope that inspired you today and you enjoyed listening. And if you did, share it with somebody else. Hit share on your podcasting app.
Just had a thought, Chris. Didn't I do a video? I can't remember now, but my barbecue technique.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so for people who are naturally uncomfortable around networking, and do you know what? I noticed somebody followed my advice. So, we were at the Grand Prix event in Mercedes-Benz World earlier in the week, and I saw one of my connections there, and he had a badge on his lapel. I always encourage people to wear something that attracts attention. I'm a bit of a attention seeker myself, as you probably guessed. But anyway, this guy had a badge, and I kind of leaned in to look at his badge, and he said, "Do you know where I got that idea from?" I said, "Where?" He said, "Your podcast." So I thought, that's brilliant. So yeah, if you could post a link to that, if people want to watch that. Obviously, you can follow Sean Ferguson's excellent advice, which I didn't give because I didn't know about. He's taught me a thing or two. But my own version of networking in traditional networking meetings, the barbecue technique, go check that one out.
Double whammy. Yeah. Okay. All right. We shall include the link to that. We've got a blog post and a video on that. Yeah. Good. All right. So that concludes today's episode. Thanks for listening. Kevin, we'll catch up same time, same place next week.
And until then, my friend, see ya.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget that we are constantly updating our resources inside the Wealth Builders membership site to help you create, build, and protect your wealth. Head over to wealthbuilders.co.uk/membership right now for free access. That's wealthbuilders.co.uk/membership.